Love, a precious gift, yet also a journey full of challenges. Have you ever felt lost in your relationships? Or wondered how to build a sustainable and happy love? When it comes to love, many people often think that women are the most sensitive and anxious. But the truth is that men also have hidden fears that they rarely express. They may appear strong and confident, but deep down, they still have worries and pressures that not everyone can understand. From the fear of losing freedom, being compared, not being good enough, to the pressures of responsibilities in marriage, finances, and family, all these factors affect the way men love and maintain a serious relationship. But do women really understand these fears? And how can love avoid becoming a burden and instead be a joyful journey for both? Welcome to Sophia's Knowledge, and my name is Sophia. This is where we share lessons about love, real-life experiences, and tips for building a solid relationship. In today's video, Sophia will reveal to you the 7 things men fear most in a serious relationship. These may be things you have never considered before. If you are looking for a deeper understanding of love and ways to develop your relationship, don't miss this video. Before starting, find a quiet space and wear headphones so that you can fully absorb every word I share. Relax and join me on this journey. Are you ready to embark on this journey? Let's go. Item 1. Men fear losing freedom and personal space. In a serious relationship, men often face pressures that they sometimes cannot express to anyone. One of their biggest fears is losing their freedom and personal space. This doesn't mean they don't love or aren't committed, simply, men need some space for themselves to maintain balance and a sense of autonomy in life. Is freedom really important to men? When entering a serious relationship, many women unconsciously want to be as close and connected with their man as possible. This is completely natural, but sometimes too much attention can make a man feel controlled or deprived of his personal freedom. Men often value their alone time to do the things they love. It could be a quiet evening by themselves, a game of football with friends, or simply having time to pursue personal passions. They don't want to feel that every personal activity must be asked for permission or that they always have to explain why they need time for themselves. Why do men fear losing personal space? There are many reasons why men feel uneasy about losing their freedom in a relationship. First, the instinct for independence. Men are taught from a young age to be strong, self-reliant, and not dependent on anyone. When a relationship becomes too binding, they may feel that they are no longer being themselves. Second, the pressure of responsibility. Once love becomes serious, responsibilities increase. They have to care for and look after their partner more, which sometimes makes them feel as though they've lost the carefree, comfortable life they once enjoyed when single. Third, the fear of being overly controlled. Men fear it when their partner tends to control them too strictly. If they are constantly required to update their whereabouts, explain every meeting, or give up personal hobbies just because their girlfriend disapproves, it can make them feel suffocated. Does losing freedom mean losing love? This is one of the most common misconceptions. Many women think that if a man needs personal space, it means he loves less or wants to distance himself. In reality, the more a man loves, the more he wishes to maintain a balance between his feelings and his personal life. A healthy relationship is not about being together all the time, but about knowing when to be close and when to allow the other person some time alone. A man who has enough space to grow as an individual will cherish and love you even more. How to create balance? If you are in a serious relationship, the most important thing is to find the balance between spending time together and respecting personal space. Here are some ways to maintain a happy relationship without making your partner feel deprived of freedom. Understand that personal space is necessary. It's not that he wants a night alone or to hang out with friends because he doesn't love you. In fact, giving each other time apart can refresh both individuals, thereby making the relationship more interesting. Avoid over-controlling. One of the things that make men feel the most confined is being controlled. If you frequently ask where he is, what he is doing, with whom, or show displeasure when he spends time with friends, over time he will feel suffocated. Let him feel comfortable without constantly worrying about your reactions. Find common interests while still maintaining independence. Instead of asking him to give up his personal hobbies, try to find ways to share some activities together while still having your own space. For example, you can spend time together on weekends but still allow him free time to do what he likes. Communicate with understanding. If you feel that your partner is becoming distant or spending too much time alone, talk openly instead of blaming. Men don't like being pressured, but they are willing to share if they feel understood. Tell him that you respect his need for space, but you also desire quality time together. When does demanding personal space become a problem? Although personal space is important, if a man always avoids spending time with you, does not prioritize the relationship, or uses freedom as an excuse to shirk responsibilities, that may be a sign of a lack of seriousness. A sustainable relationship is built on both partners balancing personal time and shared moments. If you feel that he is using freedom to avoid commitment, it may be time to reassess the relationship. Finally, the fear of losing freedom and personal space is one of the most common worries for men when entering a serious relationship. This does not mean that they do not want to love or do not value you, it simply means they need time to maintain balance in life. If you can respect their space, avoid being over-controlling, and know how to balance love with personal life, your relationship will become more sustainable. Remember, love is not about binding or possessing, but about growing and being happy together. Have you ever been in a similar situation? If so, please share your story in the comments. I look forward to hearing your interesting experiences. And if you find this content useful, please like and share to spread the message to more people. Thank you for your support. Let's continue together. Item 2. Men fear being compared to others. In love, everyone wants to be the one and only special person in the eyes of their partner. Men are no exception. But one of their biggest fears when entering a serious relationship is being compared to others, especially to their girlfriend's ex or to more successful men. Maybe you don't realize it, but every time you inadvertently mention someone with admiration, or compare him to an ex, to your friend's boyfriend, or even to some famous person, you are pushing him into an invisible battle. That battle not only hurts his self-esteem but also gradually cracks the relationship between the two of you. Why do men fear being compared? Comparison always exists in society, and men themselves often compare themselves to others. But when the comparison comes from the very woman they love, it can become a great pressure. The instinct to assert oneself. Men always have the desire to be recognized and appreciated. They want to be the only one in the eyes of the woman they love, the one she is proud of. When compared to others, they feel that they are not good enough or not important enough to you, hurting their self-esteem. Men's self-esteem is usually very high. When they are compared to others, especially in a negative way, they may feel inferior, like a failure, or unworthy. This makes them become cautious, lose confidence, and even tend to withdraw from the relationship. Feeling unappreciated. No one wants to feel like a substitute choice. When men are compared, they might think that you are weighing them against someone else, that you are not truly satisfied with them. This can lead to discouragement, hurt, and a loss of motivation to nurture the relationship. Common types of comparisons that hurt men. In reality, there are many types of comparisons that make men feel pressured or hurt, even though sometimes women inadvertently say them without realizing the consequences. Comparing with an ex. This is the worst thing a woman can do. Mentioning an ex in a positive way, such as "your ex was very chivalrous" or "he once did this for me," will make a man feel that he is not as good as the previous one. This can lead to feelings of inferiority and gradually make him withdraw. Comparing with other men around. For example, see, your friend's boyfriend just gave her an expensive ring. Her husband is really good, at 30 he already bought a house. You're not as romantic as your friend's boyfriend. These statements can make a man feel pressured, even hurt, because they think that he is not good enough in your eyes. Comparing with a famous person or idol. When you frequently mention a male idol, an actor, or a successful businessman with excessive admiration, men may feel that they will never reach the standard you expect. The consequences of comparison in love. Constant comparison can have negative effects on the relationship, making a man feel devalued. If a man constantly feels that he is not good enough in your eyes, he will gradually lose confidence. He may stop trying because he believes that nothing he does can satisfy you, creating distance in the relationship. Instead of being open and connected with you, a man may become cautious and keep his distance because he does not want to be hurt further. He might talk less, share less, and even gradually reduce his affection for you, causing pressure and fracturing love. A sustainable relationship needs mutual encouragement and support. If a man constantly feels that he is being compared, he will no longer feel comfortable around you, leading to conflicts and cracks in the relationship. How to avoid making a man feel compared. If you truly love him and want the relationship to be better, please keep the following in mind to avoid making him feel pressured. Appreciate what he has. Instead of focusing on what he hasn't done, look at the wonderful things he brings to you. If he cares for you and worries about you, acknowledge that instead of comparing him to someone else. Learn to compliment correctly. Instead of saying, "You're not as romantic as your friend's boyfriend," try saying, "I really love it when you do this for me." This way, you both express your desires and make him feel appreciated instead of compared. Understand that everyone has their own value. Not everyone is the same. Some are good at earning money, some are great at caregiving, some are humorous, and some are quiet but sincere. Instead of expecting him to become someone else, love him for who he is. Finally, the thing men fear the most is being compared to others, because it makes them feel not good enough, unappreciated, and even lose the motivation to try in the relationship. If you truly love him, stop weighing him against someone else. A sustainable relationship is not about comparison, but about mutual recognition and appreciation. When men feel that they are the one and only in the eyes of the woman they love, they will love and cherish you even more. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below in the comment section. I look forward to hearing your opinions. And do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create more good and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Item 3. Men fear not meeting their partner's expectations. In a serious relationship, men always want to be a solid support for their women. They yearn to bring happiness, stability, and pride to their partner. However, along with that desire comes a hidden fear, the fear of not meeting the expectations of the one they love. This fear not only stems from social pressures but also from the very expectations of the woman they cherish. When they feel that they are not skilled enough, not successful enough, or unable to provide the best for their partner, men can become haunted by disappointment, inferiority, and may even grow distant in the relationship. Why do men fear not meeting their partner's expectations? Pressure of the role as the pillar. For a long time, men have been assumed to be the ones who shoulder financial responsibilities, protect, and take care of their women. Society teaches them that a successful man is one who can adequately provide for his wife and children, has a stable career, and holds a reputable position in society. Therefore, when they feel that they have not met these standards, men easily fall into a state of worry and inferiority. They fear that if they are not good enough, not strong enough, they will disappoint their woman or lose her respect. Increasing expectations in modern relationships. Nowadays, expectations in love are not limited to taking care of each other for a fulfilling life, but also include emotions, romance, and the ability to understand each other's psyche. A man not only needs to earn well, but also must know how to listen, show timely care, create surprises, maintain attraction, and sometimes even be better than the other men she has met. Thus, many men feel that no matter how hard they try, they are still not good enough. They fear that even if they do their best, their partner will always desire more and eventually be disappointed. Comparing with the ideal model. Media, films, and social networks paint the picture of the ideal man: successful, chivalrous, humorous, sophisticated, and attractive in appearance. When a woman inadvertently mentions these ideals or praises another man, her partner may feel that he will never reach that standard. They worry that no matter how hard they try, there will always be someone better, richer, or more romantic. This makes men feel insecure in love. Consequences of this fear in the relationship: inferiority and loss of self-confidence. A man who constantly fears that he is not good enough will gradually lose his self-confidence. He might begin to doubt himself and question his value in the relationship. When he feels that he cannot satisfy his partner, he may fall into a state of discouragement and lose the motivation to try. Avoiding commitment. Some men, when feeling incapable of meeting their partner's expectations, choose to avoid serious commitments. They fear that if they enter into marriage without financial stability or without achieving what their partner desires, they will soon fail and hurt the one they love. Thus, instead of moving forward, they postpone or even withdraw from the relationship to avoid feeling judged or disappointed. Distance and conflict. When a man feels that he is not meeting his partner's expectations, he may become withdrawn, share less, and gradually create distance. This can cause the woman to feel that he no longer loves her or is not putting effort into the relationship. If the woman does not recognize this and continues to apply pressure, compare, or express disappointment, the relationship may start to crack. How to help a man overcome this fear? If you truly love a man and want the relationship to be sustainable, help him feel good enough and worthy instead of inadvertently adding pressure. Understanding and encouraging instead of criticizing. Instead of focusing on what he hasn't achieved, acknowledge his efforts. A simple encouragement like "I know you are trying very hard and I really appreciate that" can help a man feel understood and motivate him to continue trying. Avoid setting unrealistic or excessively high expectations. A man may not be perfect in every aspect, but what matters is whether he truly loves you and is making an effort for the relationship. If you continually impose high demands regarding finances, career, or affection without considering his reality, it can make him feel overwhelmed and inferior. Creating a sense of security in the relationship. Men need to feel that no matter what stage of life they are in, you are by their side and trust them. When a man knows that his woman loves him not just for what he has, but for who he is, he will be more motivated to improve himself. Supporting and growing together. A healthy relationship is not about pressure but about companionship. If you have aspirations for the future, instead of saying "you must do this or that," try saying "let's work together for a better life." This not only helps him feel less pressured but also brings you closer together. Finally, the fear of not meeting the partner's expectations is one of the greatest anxieties for men in a serious relationship. They always want to be the best man in the eyes of the one they love, yet they also face significant pressure from society and the expectations of the woman they cherish. A happy relationship is not about imposing too many demands but about working together, understanding, and appreciating one another. When men feel that they are loved not just for what they have, but for who they are, they will strive even harder to become the best version of themselves. Item 4. Men fear losing their sense of self. In a serious relationship, men always want to bring happiness to their woman. They are willing to change certain habits and adjust their lifestyles to suit their partner or wife. However, one of their greatest fears is losing themselves, losing their personal values, passions, hobbies, and even their true identity in the process of maintaining and developing the relationship. This fear can make men feel trapped, suffocated, and sometimes affect the connection between the two. If not understood and addressed properly, it can gradually make the relationship tense and diminish the initial attraction. Why do men fear losing themselves in love? Changes to suit the partner. When entering a serious relationship, men are often willing to adjust to please the woman they love. This can start with small changes such as altering their style of dress or daily routines, even to the extent of giving up personal hobbies or time with friends. If these changes are voluntary and within reason, in a serious relationship, especially as it moves toward marriage, a man is often expected to become the pillar who shoulders financial responsibilities, protects the family, and ensures a stable life. Over time, he may feel that he is reduced to just being a supporting pillar without the freedom to live as he wishes. When everything revolves around work, responsibilities, and his partner's expectations, a man can feel that he is no longer himself, with no time for the things he once loved. Manifestations of a man feeling lost in himself. When a man starts to feel that he is no longer true to himself in a relationship, clear signs may appear such as becoming less talkative and sharing less. He feels that he cannot reveal his true self and is forced to perform according to his partner's expectations. Losing interest in previous hobbies. If he once enjoyed sports, gaming, traveling, or hanging out with friends but gradually gives up all these activities just to please his partner, it may make him feel confined. Tendency to avoid or gradually withdraw. When he feels that he is losing his sense of self, a man may respond by creating distance, showing little concern for the relationship, or even becoming easily irritable. Constant feelings of pressure and unhappiness. If he feels he must strive excessively to maintain a certain image, he may eventually feel exhausted and lose the joy of love. How can a man preserve his sense of self in a relationship? Find a balance between change and maintaining one's identity. A healthy relationship does not mean completely changing to suit the other person, but growing together while keeping one's individual character. Men need to understand that they can adjust to please their partner without losing what is important to themselves. Communicate clearly and honestly with the partner. If a man feels suffocated or as though he is losing himself, he should openly share his feelings with his partner. This helps both to understand each other better and to find solutions to maintain the relationship without making either feel overly constrained. Maintain personal values and passions. A man's attractiveness does not lie in completely changing for his partner, but in staying true to himself and preserving his own passions. He should continue to uphold the habits, hobbies, or activities that bring him joy and balance in life. Build a relationship based on mutual respect. The woman in the relationship also needs to understand that love is not about controlling or forcing the other to change according to one's wishes, but about creating harmony together. When both respect each other's individuality, the relationship will naturally develop in a more sustainable way. Don't let love become the entirety of life. One of the biggest mistakes that cause men to lose themselves in love is viewing the relationship as everything. They need to understand that love is only one part of life. Alongside it are career, friends, family, and other aspects that help them become the best version of themselves. Finally, the fear of losing oneself is one of the greatest anxieties for men in a serious relationship. When they feel that they are no longer being true to themselves, cannot pursue what they love, or are constantly forced to change to please their partner, they can become stressed and gradually lose connection with love. A lasting relationship is not about control or forcing the other to change, but about balancing love and personal growth. When a man feels that he is loved while still preserving his individuality, he will cherish and commit to the relationship even more. Item 5. Men fear betrayal and loss of trust. In a serious relationship, trust is the most important factor in building a lasting bond. No matter how strong they may be, men have a great fear that they rarely admit, the fear of being betrayed and losing trust in the woman they love. Unlike physical wounds, betrayal leaves a mental scar that is hard to heal, shaking their faith in love. Once a man feels betrayed, he may not only lose trust in his partner but also become guarded, cold, and even unwilling to open up in future relationships. So why do men fear betrayal so much? And how can trust be maintained in love? Why do men fear betrayal and loss of trust? Betrayal strikes directly at their self-esteem. Men often have very high self-esteem, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. They want to be the one and only, a solid and reliable support in the eyes of the woman they love. When betrayed, they not only feel pain but also feel that their self-worth has been diminished. Many men see betrayal as evidence that they are not good enough, not attractive enough, or not important enough in the relationship. This causes them not only to lose trust in their partner but also to doubt themselves. Betrayal comes with the pain of loss. For men, when they truly love, they invest a lot of passion into the relationship. When betrayed, they lose not only a lover but also their trust, security, and even the memories they have built together. This can lead them into a state of despair, doubting everything and even losing the ability to love again. Betrayal creates a long-lasting obsession. Unlike women, men are less likely to share their emotions or seek comfort from others when hurt. They often endure their pain alone, hiding it inside, and sometimes turning it into an obsession. They may begin to view love with skepticism, become defensive, and no longer easily open their hearts. Some even lose faith in love and become cold or indifferent in future relationships. Manifestations of a man who fears betrayal. When a man harbors the fear of being betrayed, he may show the following signs: always controlling or suspicious. He may feel insecure if his partner spends too much time with others or exhibits ambiguous behaviors. Quick to anger or react strongly to even the slightest deception. Even a harmless lie can cause him to lose trust and become suspicious of everything. Reluctance to commit or always keeping a distance. He fears opening his heart too much, worried about being hurt again. Giving little trust to love. He may become more pragmatic, less romantic, and lose faith in promises made in love. If a man has been betrayed in the past, he might carry this fear into subsequent relationships, even if his current partner has done nothing wrong. How to build and maintain trust in love. Always be honest, even in small matters. Trust is built from the smallest details. When both partners are honest with each other about simple things like daily plans, conversations with the opposite sex, or even their genuine thoughts, the relationship will become stronger. Conversely, even one small lie can make a man begin to doubt everything. Keep clarity in relationships with others. Men do not like ambiguity. If you have many relationships with people of the opposite sex, make sure everything is clear so as not to create misunderstandings. For example, if you still keep in touch with an ex, make sure your boyfriend is aware of it and does not feel threatened. If you have close male friends, help him feel secure by showing respect for your relationship. Show commitment and prioritize the relationship. Men need to feel that they are important and prioritized. If he constantly feels that you place him behind other things such as friends, work, or social relationships, he will gradually lose trust in the seriousness of your love. Commitment is not just a word, it is demonstrated through actions. When a man feels that you truly value and cherish the relationship with him, he will worry less about the possibility of betrayal. Do not exploit jealousy to test trust. Some women think that making a man jealous can make him love them more. In reality, this only increases insecurity and may cause a man to lose trust in you. Instead of testing his trust, create an environment of safety and make him feel secure when he is with you. Finally, the fear of betrayal and loss of trust is one of the greatest anxieties for men in love. They not only fear being hurt but also fear losing their self-respect and faith in love. A lasting relationship is built not only on love but also on trust and honesty. When a man feels safe in love, he will love and cherish you even more. However, once trust is broken, it is very hard to regain. If you truly love a man, help him feel secure and safe. When both of you build a solid foundation based on trust, the relationship will not only last long but also become increasingly closer. Item 6. Men fear prolonged conflict and endless arguments. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship. However, if disagreements are not resolved and continuously recur, prolonging into endless arguments, it can become a nightmare for men. Many believe that men are indifferent and do not care about minor disputes in love. But in reality, one of the things they fear most when entering a serious relationship is having to face perpetual quarrels, unresolved conflicts, and the feeling of being unable to find a solution. So why do men fear prolonged conflicts? And how can we avoid turning disagreements into lasting fractures in love? Why do men fear prolonged conflicts? Men are not adept at handling emotions. Women tend to resolve issues by talking, analyzing, and expressing their feelings to seek empathy. In contrast, men often adopt a more practical approach. They want to find a quick solution instead of getting entangled in lengthy debates. When faced with a prolonged argument, they may feel overwhelmed because they do not know how to respond. This leads them to choose silence, avoidance, or withdrawal, which may make women think they do not care. In reality, they are simply trying to avoid a tension they do not know how to resolve. The pressure to always control the situation. Society always expects men to be strong, calm, and in control. But when an argument drags on without any sign of ending, they may feel helpless because they cannot control either their partner's emotions or the overall situation. They worry that no matter what they say or how they explain, everything will still hit a dead end. This makes them feel tired and pressured, even leading them to think that the relationship is too tense and may not last. The fear that conflict could destroy the relationship. Not all men wish to avoid problems. Many are genuinely afraid that continuous arguments will gradually erode the love between the two people. They might start thinking, "We are not compatible, no matter how hard I try, she is never satisfied," or perhaps this relationship cannot go far. If this feeling persists, they may gradually lose the motivation to maintain the love. Signs of prolonged conflict that might drive a man away. Not every argument makes a man feel suffocated. But if a relationship shows the following signs, he may eventually feel disheartened and want to withdraw. Every argument ends in hurt. If every quarrel leaves behind painful words instead of finding a solution, men will eventually feel afraid of having serious conversations. Repeated arguments with no resolution. If an issue has been discussed repeatedly without any resolution, he will feel that every argument is futile. Personal space is invaded after arguments. If a man needs time to reflect after a debate but his personal space is not respected, he will feel pressured and suffocated. Conflicts occur too frequently, even over trivial matters. If most conversations end in disagreement or tension, a man may gradually lose the comfort in the relationship. How to avoid turning conflicts into prolonged issues. Learn to argue in a healthy way. A healthy argument is not about determining who is right or wrong, but about understanding each other and improving the relationship together. When disagreements occur, focus on the issue rather than launching personal attacks. For example, instead of saying, "You are always uncaring and never pay attention to me," try saying, "I feel sad when I don't receive as much attention as before." This way of speaking helps your partner understand your feelings without feeling criticized. Give men time to think and respond. After an argument, men often need time to think, reflect, and calm down. If you continuously pressure them immediately, it may make them feel overwhelmed. Allow them some personal space so that they can return to the conversation with a calmer mindset. Focus on solutions instead of blaming each other. Many prolonged arguments arise not because the problem is huge, but because both parties focus on blaming each other instead of finding a solution. Ask, "What can we do to prevent this from happening again?" instead of just determining who is right or wrong. Pay attention to the frequency and intensity of the arguments. A healthy relationship does not mean there are no disagreements, but rather that both know how to control them. If you notice that you have been arguing too frequently lately, ask yourselves if something bigger is affecting both of you: stress, work pressure, family issues, etc. Instead of letting minor tensions accumulate into a major problem, resolve them as soon as they can be managed. Finally, men do not fear arguments per se, but they fear prolonged, unresolved conflicts. They fear the feeling of helplessness when a solution cannot be found, fear the hurtful words, and fear repeated quarrels that weigh down the love. A lasting relationship is not one without disagreements, but one where both partners know how to resolve conflicts intelligently and respectfully. If you truly love a man, help him feel that each argument is not a battle, but an opportunity for both of you to understand each other better. When a man feels safe and comfortable in love, he will cherish and commit to you even more. Item 7. Men fear too much responsibility: marriage, finance, children. In a serious relationship, especially when entering marriage, men often face many significant responsibilities. Not only are they the partner of the woman they love, but they also have to assume the role of the family's pillar, a father, a husband, the provider, and ensure a stable future. Because of this, one of the biggest fears men have in love is the fear of too much responsibility, including pressure regarding marriage, finances, and children. This fear does not mean that they do not love or do not want to commit. It simply means that they worry they are not capable enough to shoulder everything and meet the expectations of their partner as well as society. Why do men fear too much responsibility? Pressure from the role of family pillar. Throughout the ages, men have always been burdened by the responsibility of being the family's pillar. A standard man according to traditional views must have a stable career, solid finances, and be able to provide for his wife and children so that the family does not fall into hardship. This pressure makes many men worry whether they are capable enough to take on that role. They fear that if they fail in their work, do not earn enough money, or cannot bring a good life for the family, they will be seen as useless or not good enough. The long-term commitment of marriage. Not all men are afraid of marriage, but marriage comes with a series of huge responsibilities. No longer the carefree days of dating. When entering marriage, they have to share life with another person, be responsible for both families, and learn to adjust themselves to maintain a long-lasting relationship. They worry about the changes in life, the inevitable conflicts, and especially whether they can maintain love and harmony for many years after marriage. The fear of finances. One of the biggest worries for men when thinking about marriage is finances. Not everyone has a stable career, a high salary, or solid financial capabilities. When thinking about having to manage rent, living expenses, child-rearing costs, unexpected expenses, and a series of other financial responsibilities, men easily fall into anxiety and pressure. They fear that if they do not earn enough money, they will not be able to provide the best life for their wife and children, which makes them feel like failures. Responsibility of being a father and raising children. Becoming a father is not only a joy but also an enormous responsibility. Men fear that they are not good enough to be a good father, do not know how to teach their children, do not have enough time to dedicate to them, or cannot provide their children with a bright future. Furthermore, they worry about losing their freedom when they have children, because now every decision must prioritize the family and the children. They cannot freely do what they want without considering the consequences and responsibilities toward the family. Manifestations of a man who fears too much responsibility. Not all men openly admit that they fear responsibility. But if you pay attention, you may notice signs that indicate they feel pressured or anxious about the future, avoiding serious conversations about marriage and family. If a man always avoids when you bring up marriage, he might not be ready to face the accompanying responsibilities. Not wanting to discuss finances or tending to postpone big plans. If he always says, "Wait a little longer," now is not the right time when talking about buying a house, stabilizing his job, or planning for the long term, it may indicate that he is anxious about financial responsibilities. Showing anxiety or pressure when thinking about having children. If he reacts negatively when hearing about having children or appears tense when the responsibility of being a father is mentioned, this could be a sign that he is not ready to take on that responsibility. How to help a man overcome this fear? Share responsibilities instead of putting everything on the man. One of the reasons why men fear too much responsibility is that they feel they have to shoulder everything alone. If you show that you are willing to share everything with him, from finances to raising children, he will feel much relieved. For example, instead of saying you have to earn a lot of money to support the family, say let's work together to build a good life. When a man feels that he has a partner rather than a heavy burden, he will be more willing to face any responsibilities without fear. Do not create too much financial pressure. Understand that not everyone can be wealthy immediately. Do not place overly high financial expectations on him if it exceeds his current capabilities. Build your finances together instead of expecting him to manage everything alone. Encourage him to speak out about his worries instead of keeping them bottled up. Many men do not express their fears because they are afraid of being seen as weak. Create an environment where he feels safe to share the pressures he is facing. Sometimes, just being listened to and understood can make him feel much less anxious. Build a relationship based on flexibility and understanding. Not everyone is ready to shoulder all responsibilities immediately. Allow him time to gradually adapt to the changes instead of forcing him to be ready right away. Conclusion. In a serious relationship, not only women but men also have hidden fears that they seldom show outwardly. They fear losing freedom and personal space, being compared to others, not meeting their partner's expectations, losing themselves, fearing betrayal and loss of trust, enduring prolonged conflicts, and fearing too much responsibility. These fears do not stem from a lack of love or a desire to commit, rather, they arise from their deep concern for the relationship and the woman by their side. They worry that if they do not do well, they will not be worthy, unable to protect, and provide complete happiness for the one they love. Men may appear strong before the world, but in love, they also experience moments of vulnerability and invisible pressures that sometimes even they do not know how to express. Therefore, for a lasting relationship, the most important thing is not to control or impose, but to understand and accompany each other. When women understand these fears, they can help their man feel safe, loved, and free from pressure or constraints. True love is not about perfection, but about patience, understanding, and overcoming fears together to build a happy and lasting relationship. That concludes today's video. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you have found these valuable lessons and insights will help you on your journey of love. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content in the future. I am very grateful for your support and see you in the next video. Wishing you always abundant love and happiness.